case or any more exuberant offerings. Oh, okay, and encased underneath. So, with spiced fine fruits and a splash of rich brandy and ruby port, all encased in crumbly short crust pastry. No artificial colours, flavours or hydrogenated fat. Warning: contains alcohol. This product may contain pips and or stones. So there's two warnings there. Alcoholic content, it should say how much indirectly via the ingredients, and it may contain pips and or stones. So minced meat 50%, sultana, sugar, brownie, apple pulp, currants, glucose syrup, brandy, glaze, mixed citrus peel, orange peel, glucose, fructose syrup, lemon peel, sugar, preservative, potassium, salt, acidity, regulated sugar, sunflower, ruby, butter, peel, a big spice, coriander, cinnamon, ginger, caraway, nutmeg, and a load of other made-up herbs. Preservative, acetic acid, cottonseed, or colour orange was to do with flour, suitable for flour, calcium carbonate, iron, nicotine, thiamine, concentrate, estrogen, sodium, calcium, meat starch, palm oil. Store in a cool, dry place out of direct sunlight and Brexit. Once open, consumed within 3 days. I'll also suggest heating them up, so I guess I could eat one cold now and next time seeing, I guess that's an obvious thing, heat up pastries of all kinds, even sweeter kinds, but I didn't think about that. So they recommend 8 to 10 minutes at 180 Celsius. Place pies still in foil cases on baking tray and send a preheated oven. Be careful when they say, make sure to use your initiative, because naively I followed advice once in the back of the box and ended up melting something, so as in not food, non-food, some sort of case it came in, so be very careful. I bought a whole fish, a whole mackerel. I don't even like mackerel, but it's reduced, and I was going to make a video about it actually, but I forgot, so I did that another time. At this discussion point about eating meat and stuff, but it came in a bag, and so what I do is somehow catch fire, so I kept checking the oven, which is a good thing to do, try not to get too anxious, but it's good to be vigilant. But but that came out okay. The bag didn't catch fire, needless to say. One time I followed the instructions, it didn't end well. Oh, actually, I don't think there's any missing. The box was just already open, but they decided to reduce them. Yeah, they're all there. So I wonder if somebody cunning would go round opening all the boxes on the products they want, and then they come back half an hour or hours later and know they can get the food at a discount. I bet someone scrupulous but very clever people are doing such a thing. There's nothing missing. The box is just slightly undone. Because the box was undone, they've gone from £1.39 to 69 pence. It's about half the price. All you need to do is just Now, one of my housemates bought some for us to try, but they were Asda branded. I think they're different to these ones. These ones look very flowery. Oh, what's happened there? That's not a bad thing. I like diversity. There's a little splurge of what's it. My tooth again, even when eating a mince pie. Yeah, these aren't as nice as the ones my housemate bought. These are Asda Extra Special. I don't know. I'm sure they were Asda brand as well, but I don't know. I think it came in a red box, maybe. These ones are alright. They're sort of fruity references of some sort. The pastry a bit dry, I guess, but I'm okay. That's more like my throat issues and stuff. Everything tastes dry to me. It's just smothered in sauce. Not bad. So far, he says, struggling to digest. They're not bad. They're really nice. They are. No, not really nice, but they're okay. As I was moving to the box, I noticed the smell. It do smell quite nice. There's a nice fragrance. Yeah, I think I can taste the orange peel. I think I can taste, but I was gonna say raisins, but I don't think there are any raisins. But they're sultanas, and aren't they related somehow? Are sultanas just dried raisins? Yeah, because raisins are dried something. What are raisins? I've never liked raisins really. I remember as a child, you probably remember, they probably still sell them even, there used to be these very tiny boxes, I don't know, probably like 50 pence or something, um, post-Brexit £2 for half a sultana, but they used to have like all these dried fruits and raisins, and they always used to get stuck to the bottom of the box, and I just found them so unappetizing, but also I didn't want to seem ungrateful, so I happily ate them for my packed lunch at school, but so I had bad memories of sultanas and raisins. There's something insidious about them, like avocado and whatever products do evil people. I'm just kidding. Sometimes, I think from Morrison's, she used to bring home these squidgy thing in like a plastic wrap. It wasn't a dried peach, I don't think. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, you can taste the sugar content. Well, at least some of the sugar content. Tapioca starch, I don't really know what that is, aside from obviously being a form of starch, so I suppose you're not supposed to taste it much, so it's more about helping to bind, I guess. Caster sugar speaks for itself, I guess. Raisin agents, dextrose, so some of the usual rogues you find are familiars in ingredients. Brandy, I think maybe I can taste the brandy. I'm not sure. I forgot a detail. It also says not suitable for egg or soya allergy sufferers, may also contain traces of nuts. Sorry, I forgot to read that. I should have read that out as well. Now, of course, although I have two bars the same as I full stock up this Christmas, and there's a slight deal with it. I've got two, but obviously one has been resting on top of the other when they've shifted position in the bag, so they've been exposed to ever so slightly minuscule in rating rise, temperatures, gradients, so that will affect the taste. So obviously I have to try some chocolate from this bar and some from this bar. I'm just kidding, of course, but normally I would use Dexter's bar, and even for chocolate I'm still quite full from all that pizza and stuff, so it is tempting, but I will try chocolate from just one. Next time I will use that excuse. So this video is especially for my Russian friend, because we were talking about chocolate. But there's a spider on my door. Hello. I think that's not the one that was in the corner this morning. It's still there. Sorry, I just it's crawling down the door. I just noticed. Hello, little fella. Oh, aren't you cute? I'm a very shy creature. I think this. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's falling. There you go. Oh, where's it gone? Spider vanished. Oh, there you are on my own. Okay, I wonder about their psychology, what kind of thoughts spiders have. And I should probably wash my hand before eating chocolate, and I know I may not do so please, if you're at home and you've touched spiders, please remember to wash your hands before eating, just so you know. But it's going up the monitor earlier. This great. Oh, there's your cotton socks. Oh, little fella. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I just thought you're having difficulty climbing down the door. I think it's a bit slippery for you. I know you're the master of making webs, but just a bit cautious. Esther branded Jaffa Cakes, these are one of my favourite brand. The original, as in McVitie's, they're pretty nice, but I think these are almost as nice, if not nicer, and they're so much cheaper than McVitie's naturally, so I tend to buy these now as my go-to for Jaffa Cakes. Somebody called me from a local number, that's Birmingham, because it's 0121, yeah, 346. Have they rang me before? Because it may have been about something I was inquiring about. Oh, they rang 3 days ago. And 6 days ago. Yeah, I think it's someone who keeps harassing me. It's probably Theresa May. She's asking when I can take over from her. I've said, I'm just very busy this year, but in the new year I'll become Prime Minister elect. There's also an Asda Smart Price. I've tried them. Maybe once I thought it was just the first batch I tried, but they're just devoid of flavour, so it's interesting as Asda's own brand how well it's competing against itself. I think these, they're in the middle. Obviously they're nice cheap as a Smart Price, although you only get about 12 in Smart Price, I think it was, so, and these are, I don't know what, 80 pence or something for, is it 24, yeah, what you used to get with McVitie's. I think it's now about 20 get with McVitie's in a double pack, bigger pack, but so that's very very good value. They're nicer in my opinion than the Smart Price ones. They're not as hard and dried. They've actually got flavour, and they're cheaper than the McVitie ones, which they're pretty much on par with. So I tend to buy these, but I haven't uploaded it yet, but I did do a video maybe a month or so ago comparing different Jaffa Cake brands. I didn't get all of them. These were just the free brands you could find in Asda, because Morrison's have their own brand. I'm not sure about Tesco, but yeah, I mean they're all probably made by McVitie's really anyway, because that's normally how it works. They just commission them, especially if it's something licensed, like a distinctive shape or something. So but yeah. Okay, then we have Aero. I think I purchased mint. I may have shown myself eating mint on a video, so I thought just pure chocolate this time. I don't think I've tried these before, but I'm pretty sure I've tried something similar as a trial. So I think they're going to be like those those Cadbury bars you can get. I've not tried one there, but I think they're Swiss roll bars, aren't they? Kind of like that probably, but not quite as sweet, and hopefully a darker chocolate. It looks like less sugary and something additional hopefully going on. I've not eaten white chocolate in a while, so but I think I used to like these. Wagon wheels, they're half the size of what they used to be, even though I think the manufacturers claim otherwise, but I think people have shown on eBay I don't know how they had the foresight to keep, and how they resisted eating old wagon wheels, but people at one point were flogging on eBay showing how much bigger the or at least the wrapper was. So these are jammy. I think are these double chocolate. Oh no, they aren't, they're just says jammy, but I thought the others were jam and these were double chocolate. Whoops. But yeah, I think they really have changed the recipe, unless maybe it is also our change in taste buds, but they just, last time I had them maybe a few months back, they didn't taste as nice as I remembered. But that's the branded dark chocolates, 85% cocoa or 90% cocoa. This is a right chocolate feast, isn't it? And Bourneville and Asda branded non-Smart Price dark chocolate, probably good for melting on cat. Oh yeah, I also have in the fridge Galaxy, because I hate the other bar that was meant for putting on a cake, so I have a bar sitting in the fridge waiting to be melted on some. I don't know if I get time tomorrow, but hopefully I'll start making some cakes and chutney and stuff. So let's start with the old tried and tested Jaffa Cakes. Once I start eating one, I mean really in all seriousness they are a weakness. I just can't stop. I don't know, it's just something addictive about them. And it's interesting how a pound it is with non-McVitie brand, so something about the general recipe. So obviously this isn't completely the same recipe, but it's very similar. you've got a softer sponge unlike the Smart Price ones. You've got a traditional. I think it's not quite as raised as the McVitie's circular middle, but yeah, very soft. Slightly sweet, but manageable, because my beloved Jaffa cakes are manageable. Just very cake-like, as we say. They're not biscuits, as obviously you can call them what you want, but it's interesting because it was a focal point of a lawsuit between HMRC and McVitie's. I don't know, in the 80s or the 90s. Excuse me, because if they were classed as cakes, they were exempt from or had a lower band of tax, something like that. I think the cakes are outright exempt from VAT, rather, I think it is, as in value added tax. So that's why HMRC and McVitie's went to do battle, and that's why nobody likes HMRC. That's my story. I don't know how much it would have been, and VAT obviously would not have been 20% back then. McVitie's won by explaining that it's a cake, because you notice how it gets harder over time as biscuits get softer. That's the that was the crux of the debate, I think. I'm going to end up eating them all in one day, 24. I should be banned from purchasing Jaffa cake. I should have like a Jaffa cake allowance, shouldn't I? Because I don't know what it is that's so addictive, but because the sponge is probably the least satisfying part, but the whole mix is just, make my own Jaffa cakes, maybe, and alter the recipe to try and identify the components that have me addicted to Jaffa cakes, because it really is true. I really do eat too many Jaffa cakes. So as you can see, they're sitting in some sort of tray. I don't know if you really wanted to see that, but you're going to see it anyway. The other thing I mentioned in a different video, Jaffa cakes come under biscuits, and that's the receipt, so don't tell HMRC, because they should come under cakes, but they put them in the biscuit aisle. So I'm gonna have to complain about that. Hold on then. Otherwise HMRC will be adding VAT to our Jaffa cake. So it's got a sort of swirly pattern. So these might be somewhat reminiscent of the Cadbury Swiss rolls. Way too sugary, and he's going to put the rest in his mouth straight away. They're far from horrible, and that's all I can say that's good about them. A bit too sweet. A bit strange, a bit overpowering maybe. But the cake-like texture is very soft, perfect for an aching jaw. There's not really a lot of flavour to discuss, but the makeup of the bar, the texture is okay, I guess. Easy to break into. There's no really, biting involved. It's just eating. Obviously, there's a slightly hard top, and then there's sort of fluffiness, and there's I guess sort of melted galaxy above the fluffiness. I don't know how to describe it, because there wasn't really much going on. So I'm going to have to eat another one. I must resist. I'll go into more detail in another video, because otherwise I'm gonna get even chunkier. They're trying to make us feel guilty about it, eating a whole bar. But I've always liked their RM. I've always preferred it to Rizpro as well. Rizpro is good. Hero is just, it's a little sweet, but it's sort of mystical. There's just this great, overly positive aftertaste. There's just something so Then there's something so wonderful about Aero. I could just eat it all day, which might be true for most chocolate, but then there's just something so wonderful about Aero. It's a really positive tasting chocolate, and it's very light and bubbly, as they like to say. It's just yeah, and this is like the standard non-mint flavour. It's probably the best flavour. So good. That's, you have to try some. You really have to try some. You have to. I need to send some to my friend. This is with. I've not even tried the others. Yet. I mean, some of them I've tried before, like Wagon Wheels, but I know this is going to be probably the best chocolate I've eaten all day. Yeah, come on, these are definitely smaller than what they were in the 90s. They're smaller than what they were 5 seconds ago. I'm sure I purchased some of these early in the year, and they were not this small. Look at that. Is this Brexit, or it can barely fit the label on the barcode? Oh, come on now, you're being silly. That's not a wagon wheel. That's a wheel from a child's toy, a miniature toy. Let me guess, one wagon wheel sells 5 people. Yeah, see, these aren't as nice. I know that the marshmallow one might be nice, but last time I tried one, it wasn't that nice. The olden days in the 90s, they were classic, but I don't know if it's changing taste buds, but although the size they definitely have shrunk, I remain convinced. But in terms of taste, they're just too sugary. It's like sugar with the occasional bit of chocolate in terms of taste, rather than chocolate with the occasional or even a heavy dosage of sugar. It seems completely sugar, just too sweet, and I just don't get Wagon Wheels anymore. It's a shame, because I'll see if they still do those double chocolate ones, because they may be good. I'll try and track them down, but they were never this small. I remain convinced. I remain convinced they were never this small. They can say what they like. They know full well they were never this small. They were gigantic in the old. I know we're no longer children. We're bigger now. Perspectives change, but this is a post-Brexit wagon wheel. I remember the pre-Brexit wagon wheels. They were I don't know, as big as the circumference of my rabbit mug, maybe. They were never that small. They weren't that small. I refuse to accept the idea that they were always this size. I refuse to accept it. So up next, box. I'm going to go on eBay later and find Wagon Wheels someone's preserved from the 1990s. This is getting serious now. I'm gonna prove to the world. A lot of chocolate, hence why for a lot of water with me. So yeah, I sometimes I really like white chocolate, but it depends so much on the product. They do dark chocolate variants of these. Again, there's in that selection boxes a lot. Not too hard. Crunchy. Quite sweet, as you'd expect. Nice. I like the thickness of the white chocolate. It is very, and it's not too hard for my jaw, but it's very aftertaste as the white chocolate melts in your mouth. That's very, very pleasing, very pleasurable. says the packet's 130 grams, and underneath it says serving suggestion, but it doesn't go into detail about what their recommended suggestion is. Lovingly baked since 1853. They call them shortcake biscuits. Well, chocolatey white chocolate rounds, but in the description below there, 8 shortcake biscuits covered in smooth white chocolate. It's got a great smell, white chocolate. I don't know, it's just ever so slightly scented. Unlike the rack and wheels, which we don't speak of, it's gonna melt them in the oven, so they may find a purpose in life. That's a bit harsh. Harsh. I'm turning into a cockney. Harsh. Okay, so let's try this. Just rack it on my knee. No, I'm not really going to. Actually, I needed to. It's very hard. I have to burn off what's. Now I have to be careful with my teeth with this one. This is very hard, and obviously the darker the chocolate, the stronger the what's it. So I'll just put the whole thing into my mouth and melt it. And if it says 50% minimum, so it's not that dark. It's slightly bitter, an okay chocolate. I think, like my friend, I prefer much even darker chocolate. It's alright, it's good chocolate. I will enjoy eating all of these over the coming days. Got enough chocolate for Christmas, certainly. Although, please, if you want to buy me some, please do. I've tried this one before, but for the video, they also do a milk version as well. Yeah, this looks darker. Is this at least 70%? Oh, 50% as well. Minimum, 50% minimum. This looks even darker. 3 bars left. Can I make it? Now this, I was never a big ice cream fan, but I used ice cream fan, but they used to be. Presumably still are Bourneville ice creams, but I had one in a while. But I really like the dark chocolate. I think that's why I first learned to Bourneville, from the ice cream. But I'm not really an ice cream person. I have to say, I just don't get it. It just doesn't do anything for me. So it's hard for me to see any purpose in eating it for me. What is Bourneville? 70%? Oh, that's Russian on the back. Russian, French, and I think Italian, in addition to English. They're putting the Russian next. I did that just for my Russian friend. They're putting the Russian next to the English. It's melting everything. The last 2 bars, 90% and 85%. Just to tempt my friend into wanting some Duvel dark chocolate. It's in foil wrapping, there's building up to something. So I think it might not necessarily be the best tasting chocolate because it's the darkest, depends on, but I do really love dark chocolate, I have to say, but Bourneville's very good. So you can see very dark. This is the 85%, so it's 5% weaker than the strongest one I have here today. Hit by the unmistakable bitterness. No, those are powering. Not for me anyway. I think I'm quite familiar with. Oh, look how dark that is. And overpowering for me, but I'm unmistakably obviously different to milky chocolate. Very reminiscent of cakes, dark chocolate on cakes. Very reminiscent of. I need to clean up my mess tomorrow when I've not eaten any chocolate. Going straight for 90% out of the fridge. If it's not too hard, that would taste so nice, even nicer. But yeah, Lindt chocolate, I don't know, it's not smoky. I know there's something, some sort of added element to Lindt's dark chocolate, and I suppose some of the dark chocolates. Pretty good going, pretty expensive. And certainly compared to, I'd say, Esther's own brands, but not bad, a good treat. But I think my favourite here is without a doubt Aero. Now imagine if they made a dark chocolate Aero, that would be heavenly. I don't think they've ever done one, but okay, I've eaten enough food for now. So it's 6:16 p.m. 17th of December 2018. I hope this shows you what some of our chocolates are like, because most of them are in my stomach. So, and I will see you all later. So bye for now.